Welcome to the Cinema and Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Lace. And on today's episode, we continue our series, Netflix Roulette, by diving into Outside the Wire. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. If you're a podcaster looking to grow your audience and reach more engagement, come check out Poddex, poddex.com. And hey, use the code Larry21 for 10% off your order. We also have merch available. Come check it out. The link will be in the description. And before we move on, hit that subscription button and give us a thumbs up if you like our video. And now on to our review of Outside the Wire. Outside the Wire features solid leads and sparse moments of enthralling action, but it's saddled with an ineffective gimmick and undeserved by an undercooked script. Set in the nearest future, the film inserts the viewer into an Eastern Bloc civil war where the U.S. is playing ragged referee, using robot soldiers to patrol a battle-ravaged no man's land. It's this premise, and of course the early reveal that Anthony Mackie's Captain Leo is a classified next-gen cyborg that makes Outside the Wire a sci-fi film.
I'm not a man, Lieutenant. I was created to simulate one to the exact necessity to do my damn job. I'm a combat soldier. But I also have the ability to break the rules in certain circumstances, just like you.
What kind of circumstances?
In extreme situations, I have the ability to act of my own volition.
And is this an extreme situation?
Why don't you ask me what you really want to
I
ask?
know how comes you're so like us.
Sentient.
Emotional.
So you equate humanity with emotion?
I equate it with fault. People are stupid, habitual, and lazy. Their emotions lead to mistakes.
Maybe humans aren't emotional enough, Lieutenant.
But the more you watch the movie and marvel at the money Netflix is throwing in a mostly disposable offering so that it can be a sci-fi film, the more you realize this didn't need to be a sci-fi movie at all. The messaging could have easily been conveyed with present-day humans. Then, if you go a little further down the rabbit hole, you might discover that this movie's moral quandaries aren't exactly fresh, and that maybe this movie didn't need to get made at all, and that perhaps Outside the Wire's sci-fi skin was just a shiny excuse to retell a war is bad morality tale that's been explored countless times already. So despite the performances, some fun bits of super soldier action, and a convoluted twist, it all resonates as hollow. Just like, sadly, majority of our Netflix movies. It feels like a project that's only 3/4 realized. Though to be fair, the ads for this film run with, quote, from the studio that brought you Extraction and The Old Guard, and those are both better movies than this one. Which The Old Guard we'll be reviewing next week, so stay tuned for that. As mentioned, the MCU's Mackie plays a cool and confident android who's more or less allowed to run his own ops in the midst of the chaos, with his top priority being the capture of Warlord Victor Koval. Mackie, as usual, is an immensely charismatic performer, capable of making the clunkiest lines of dialogue in a seemingly unending string of exposition feel vital. And though we don't know what awaits his Marvel character Sam Wilson in the future Marvel movies, it's a bona fide blast to watch Mackie get to fight like a Cap and or a Bucky-level badass. Stepping in as the second in this bizarre buddy cop dynamic is Damson Idris's Lieutenant Thomas Harp, the drone pilot who's sent to the front as punishment for going against direct orders and launching a strike that kills 2 Marines. It's here with Harp that the movie seems unable to decide on where to land regarding his greater good decision. He's painted as a cold soldier who begins to see the pain in his drone strikes, which have caused once immersed in the hell of actual combat. The dichotomy being that Mackie's android is more emotional and human than Harp, But the film also makes a point several times to say that Harp was right to do what he did. After a while, the convoluted messaging and overdose of robotics protocol piles up into a movie that you can't even fully enjoy on a pure action level. Leo and Harp go off book outside the wire and into the war zone to stop Koval from getting his hands on nukes, and it's all profoundly less interesting than it should be. Things are briefly able to lift off whenever Mackey's able to rampage as a one-man army, but mostly director Mikhail Hallstrom has crafted a very expensive, nice-looking dud that can walk arm in arm with other bloated and bland Netflix offerings. So now time for my verdict. Outside the Wire is too long, too impenetrable, and not fun enough to warrant its lofty man versus machine gimmick. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch Anthony Mackie assume the role of a smart, cordial killbot, but the film's occasionally exciting bits of action aren't enough to breathe life into this muddled mess of a story. So we leave it up to you. Let us know in the comment section below. Have you watched this movie? What did you think about it? While we're not fans of it, we want to know what you thought. So you can let us know on Twitter or Facebook. Use the hashtag Netflix Roulette. And of course, if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and cover the expenses of having a podcast. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.